Gandhi, Priyanka Vadra, Sonia Gandhi, and some members of the Congress party used AJL as a tool to acquire massive property and make massive personal profit. Now, if you have reduced the AJL, which was supposed to be a voice for freedom, pre-independence, and reduced it to this financial jugglery, it is shameful. Shameful. In fact, in 1947, for all the Nehru Bhakts, in 1947, Nehru had resigned as chairman of the board of National Herald to keep it away from political influence. And here we have a case where the Vadra Congress is at the center for trying to take over hundreds of crores of property, and people are justifying it. Riju, don't. Riju, the cardinal sin of supporting something wrong, even if you have a political motive there. You may be fishing for a little political advantage. This is not going to give you a political advantage. The facts are completely against the Vadras. Over to Gaurav, then Raju. Yes, please.
Arnab, first of all, today is a very important day in our democracy. 8 years back, during the UPA era, there was this feeling that we are above the law. Corruption is a birthright. And you remember the kind of VVIP culture that prevailed, Arnab, when we used to visit the airport. There was a board which stated all the constitutional and statutory dignitaries. And there was only one person whose name was there not to be frisked. He was Robert Vadra. Today, the Enforcement Directorate is doing its constitutional duty. And if the corrupt, the Gandhi Parivar, which I call the most corrupt Parivar in the world, is shaking and is nervous with fear, it is a good sign for our democracy. I must say this, that the strong message, no one is above law. If you indulge in acts of money laundering and corruption, the ED will catch you, because this government has zero tolerance for corruption and money laundering. I saw Mr. Anjan getting very disturbed. Mr. Anjan, I'm sure you will not disagree with me on these points. If you are elected to run a government, why should the Gandhi Parivar be running a dark Hawala exchange? You know why I say this? Because Sonia Gandhi herself moved the Supreme Court. Arnab, I have that order. She wanted quashing of the Section 420 FIR, that is cheating the country. But the Supreme Court, Mr. Anjan, said this: in rejecting the prayer for quashing the proceedings against the petitioners is concerned, we find no justification in interfering therewith. So once the Supreme Court has said that they will not quash, Arnab, imagine, Robert Vadra comes out, he is himself on anticipatory bail. He is a member of the most corrupt family, and he gives a clean chit to Rahul Gandhi that you are not corrupt. What is this? Mr. Anjan, why should they not be questioned? And they ought to give replies. The questions that are being asked: can you buy a company that has assets worth 2,000 crore for 50 lakh rupee of payment? And that too, you made out of a loan made by Dotex, a Hawala company that has extended loan to you. From Hawala to Hawala, why should we not ask? Now, I know that you belong to a family of freedom fighters. You tell me, Anjanji, would freedom fighters' sons, grandsons be not ashamed that, you know, a party like Congress party is trying to malign the image of such a newspaper and a company, and they're doing it for their personal profits? They're abusing their official position. It's a quid pro quo. Why should these tough questions not be asked, Mr. Anjan? And I think you should always stand with the families of the freedom fighters, with the honor of the country, rather than standing with the most corrupt parivar in the world.
You're getting a rebut. I was going to go to Riju, but I think Atul Anjan can rebut before that. Yes, Atul Anjan.